Okay, hey guys, I'm back to show you how to do the back of the slope practice homework. Apparently I wasn't clear enough on what my expectations were, so I'm going to demonstrate how to do some of them. I'm not going to provide you with answers, but I will show you how to get the answers. So for question 13, I'm making sure to make my table a vertical table. This is going up and down instead of the one on the paper going left and right. And I label my x and my y. Y is also f of x, is the same thing. So the first 2 points, and it doesn't matter which 2 points I use as long as I use 2. So I can use 0 and 2, and the ordered pair with 0 is 3, and then -1. So then when I go type this in Desmos, I'm going to hit the plus sign, table 0, 3, and 2, -1. So the points will appear. This has a negative slope because these points are going downward. And then, boom, now I see that my line goes down. And then I also need to click on this button for regression, export custom regression, and then type in my M and B for the future in case I need them to be turned into fractions. So I have my equation written here. And it's y equals -2x plus 3. I can also write that as f of x equals -2x plus 3. It's the same thing. So what this table tells me is if I plug in f of 0, then I'm going to get 3 as my answer because -2 times 0 plus 3 is just 0 plus 3, which equals 3. So there's my ordered pair, 0, 3. So that's how it all ties together. My slope will be my m, because this is y equals mx plus b form. So my slope will be this number here, and my y-intercept will be this number here, which is also in my table, which is also on my graph right here. And then if I want to take it an extra step, I can also find out what my x-intercept is, which we should make a habit of finding the 0 as well. So we've covered all of our bases. So the 0 is 1.5, and I can turn that into a fraction over here. Now only because this is a terminating decimal, 1.5, and then hit the fraction button, and it says 3/2. So all the things, y equals -2x plus 3. M equals -2. This is my slope. Slope is also my rate of change. I am responsible for knowing how to do all of these for my CFA on Friday. My B is my y-intercept, which is 3. My 0 is 3/2, which is my x-intercept. So if we make it a habit of doing all these things first, then we can go look at our answers and find out what multiple choice answer will match the answers that we have created, because we know we've covered all of our bases. All right, so so that covers 13, 14, 15, and 16, 17, 18. For 17 and 18, I would use the numbers that are not decimals. So, for example, oh, they don't have decimals here, it's this one. I would put this in my table and this in my table. It will still give you the same points. So what your table is going to look like is x, y, 2, 5, and -2, 5, and +2, 4. So this can go into Desmos, and then you'll have your y-intercept, which is your b, your rate of change, which is your m, and your equation, which is y equals whatever, whatever. And then if you want to be fancy and get the extra credit, write the 0 down there as well. All right, number 21 has a lot of us confused. So if these were coordinate pairs, I would need to make a table. and I would have my term, and then I would have my value. So there are 3 terms, 1, 2, and 3, and there are 3 values, 1, 2, and 3. So I would need to write my term and my value here. There will be no letters that go in for terms or values. This is just straight numbers. Then I type this in Desmos, and then I can get a y equals mx plus b form, or f of x equals mx plus b. Also, for 22 and 23, it says a water tank starts with 500 gallons of water. So that's my starting value. And it drains at a rate of 8 gallons per minute. Wherever you see per, or for each, or for every, that goes alongside my variable. That tells me my rate. And then it says by X number of minutes in this case. This one is going to be my rate by X number of hours in number 23. And this will be my starting value. So my one-time fee means I pay $5 once, and then I pay $12 for every hour after that. This means the tank starts at 500 and then it loses 8 gallons for every minute that passes. So your form should be in y equals mx plus b. Then once you write that out, it will be easy to determine the rate of change. These will not go in a fraction together. This is not 8 out of 500. This is not 500 divided by 8. This is straight into the point. X, Y, 6, 3, and 9, 12. This goes to Desmos, and you need your M here. You need your M here, and you need your M here. And then for questions 25, 26, and 27, you have to do 4 things here. You need to find your y equals mx plus b form. From there, tell me your slope. From there, tell me your y-intercept. Then locate the 0. Then that's it. So these are examples. I am not going over the questions that are on your homework because you've got to know how to apply those same concepts, which is what we've been doing for 3 weeks now. So this shouldn't be such a difficult feat to overcome. Because if we've been practicing and doing our IXL lessons like we were assigned, then this would be easy peasy. So let's look at some example questions. All right, so let's look at these examples here. Okay, so as soon as we see problems like this, these are in standard form. Okay, so that's AX plus BY equals C. Now, last week we did an IXL lesson on how to find the intercepts, which was where we divided C by A for the x-intercept, which is also called my 0 now. And we divided C by B to get the y-intercept. Okay, so this guy has multiple names. So now that I have these values, I also need to be able to solve for y. I want this to be in slope-intercept form because I can't type this in Desmos. If I go to Desmos, and I'm using the proper Desmos, because I can't use the Desmos with the other banner back here. It has to be the green banner. If I type this into Desmos, (6x minus 9y equals 10), it's going to give me an error down here. So I can't put in implicit equations. Excuse me, let me move it up so we can see. I cannot put in implicit equations and inequalities because it's not going to solve it for me. I have to know how to get it in slope-intercept form. So here I've got to change this to the y equals mx plus b form. So then I can go move that to Desmos and then see my y-intercept, my x-intercept, and my slope. So immediately when I see this, I need to subtract the x value or add it to both sides. In this case, I need to subtract it because there's an invisible plus sign here. Then this goes away. I need to bring down my negative 9y. And then this is negative 6x plus 10. I always put my slope and my x term first, just so I'm getting myself ready to put it in mx plus b form. Here I need to get rid of the y. The whole purpose of this, the negative 9. The whole purpose of this is solving for y. So divide by negative 9. Each term gets divided by negative 9. This is now y equals. When I get right here, I need to check my work in Desmos. This is not going to be negative 6 over negative 9x or negative 6 negative ninths x plus 10 negative ninths. I've got to simplify those fractions, and if I don't know how to do that, that's why I have the calculator. So come on over to Desmos. Negative 6 divided by negative 9. And then it gives me a decimal, so I click on this button here to turn it into a fraction. This is 2/3. So now I change this to 2/3 x minus 10 ninths. That will be my final equation, and this is already simplified. Let me show you just to verify. 10 divided by negative 9, negative 10 ninths. So now if I type that in, y equals 2/3 x minus 10 ninths. There's my y-intercept. There's my x-intercept. So these are both decimals. So I've got to figure out what those decimals are. So let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. And let's come back and do the math over here. I didn't leave myself enough room. So let's bring it on down. Y equals 2/3 x minus 10 ninths. My slope is always my coefficient of x. That is 2/3. My y-intercept is always what they add next, which is negative 10 ninths. So there's my y equals mx plus b. And now I need my 0, which is my x-intercept. So I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to take this equation and say 6x minus 9y equals 10. I'm going to take my c and divide by a. That means I'm zeroing out this 9y, negative 9y, divide by 6, divide by 6. X equals 10/6. Come to Desmos and simplify. 10/6 is 5/3. 5/3 is my answer. Whoa. So my 0 is 5/3. There I have found all 4 parts that I want. I've got my y equals mx plus b, my m, my b, and my 0. 1, 2, 3, 4 things that I need to know how to do there that I'm going to be responsible for doing not only on your CFA, but on your major grade test next week. Let's jump to this next problem. I've got 20x. I want to subtract 20 from both sides. 20x, that is. The 20x's over here are going to be zeroed out. This is negative 16y equals negative 20x minus 30. Divide each term by negative 16. Y equals, this needs to go in decimals, negative 20 over, or divided by negative 16. Negative 20 divide negative 16 gives me 5/4. 5/4 x, this is going to be positive because these negatives cancel each other out, and 30/16. 30 is 15/8. There's my y equals mx plus b form. My m is 5/4. My b is 15/8. And my 0 is negative 30 divided by 20, which is negative 3/2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm done.